Good morning. So today I wanted to come and talk about a subject matter that's really near and dear to me because it's something that I've struggled with my entire life and continue to struggle with today. Something that I just kind of wanted to put out there and encourage you about, and that is the idea of being too nice. So when I started thinking about this, I thought to myself, what does being nice even mean? I think of it as being kind. I think of it as being open to helping people, but I think society's view of the word nice is very distorted because the word nice is being used to replace all sorts of other actions that don't reflect what your goals are when you want to be nice to someone. So there may be some of you who actually struggle with this. One way to figure out if you are someone who is overly nice or is often taken advantage of, think about these things. Has anyone ever told you you're too nice because of stories that you're telling them about things that you've done, because of things that they see you doing? Have they ever said, oof, you're way too nice? Do you find yourself often not wanting to inconvenience other people, yet you're always being inconvenienced? Do you get surprised when someone does something really nice for you or something very thoughtful? Do you get shocked or surprised by that? And then additionally, do you try and reciprocate because that person did something nice for you? Do you feel like you need to do something nice for them back? Do you ever feel empty because you feel like you've given so much of yourself and then you look around you and you don't have anything to show for that? Do you say yes when you really want to say no? So if you answered yes to a few of those questions, then you're probably somebody who is being a little bit too nice. The worst part about this is being a nice person, being a helpful person is something so positive. If everyone in this world chose to treat people with that same kindness, this whole world would be such a peaceful place. But the problem is there's so many people like you and I, so many people who walk around thinking about how you can make other people happy, who will put people who they love first all the time and neglect themselves. Now, for some of us who have this personality trait, it may not be across the board. It may only happen with the person of opposite sex, like people you're dating. It may only happen with your friends. It may only happen at work. It may only happen with your children. Because I have witnessed people who are genuinely so sweet, but they get taken advantage of with certain people. So maybe your kindness and your support and all of that you do is fine for your family, but it's not fine in the workplace, or it's not fine in a relationship. This is something I have struggled with, like I said, for a very long time. And that's why this video might seem a little scattered, because my mind's everywhere. I'm the kind of person that doesn't want to bother anyone. If I don't have to, I will not bother you. I will do it myself, or I will go without. I remember being on a flight in an airplane and I was sitting in the window seat because that's where I prefer to sit. And I had to use the restroom so bad. I had drank so much water and I had to go. And of course, in the airplane, you have two other people sitting next to you. I sat there and just about died holding it in because I did not want to ask them to get up. Now, is that something that's considered being nice? Am I being nice because I did not want them to get up? When I thought back to it, it's completely ridiculous. You see, I was empathizing with them to the point where I was hurting myself. I was thinking, oh, I wouldn't want to get up. I didn't want to bother them. I didn't want to have them be inconvenienced. But the fact of the matter is, we're in an airplane. They know what happens when they sit in the seats that they sit in, that they have to get up. We all know that this is not the ideal situation, but this is what we have to do because we're in an airplane. And so the moment that you stop and think rationally about what you're doing, things do make a lot more sense, and it'll help you to make better decisions. I was reading this book once that talked about dating and talked about when you're taken out on a date. You feel like at the end of the date, maybe you have to kiss the guy or you have to call the guy or whatever the case might be. The way the author wrote it, she said, you should not feel bad that someone paid to take you out to dinner. You should not feel like you owe them something. You should not feel like you have to pay. You should not feel like that. If someone takes you out, they are paying, yes, but they also are receiving something. They are in your company. You're a special person. You're a wonderful, unique, amazing, beautiful person. They're paying, but they're getting the experience. of spending time with you. And that's worth more than money. It's worth so much more than money. So you should never feel compelled to do something because someone did something nice for you. And people who are extremely nice really struggle with that. Every time someone does something nice, they have to do something nice back. They have to top it. They have to supersede it. For every one, they do 10. And if that makes you feel good, then so be it. But only for someone who is deserving. Oftentimes, people who are extremely kind and sweet will say that they don't want to hurt people's feelings. And most of the time, it's in situations that the person is wrong. They're wrong for taking advantage of you. They're wrong for that. But you don't want to hurt their feelings, so you don't want to approach them and hold a mirror up to their face. This happens a lot when it comes to the concept of loaning people money. I myself have done this far too many times, where I've loaned people money. 99.9% of the time it was a boyfriend. And the first time, they're like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to take your money. I can't do this. I don't want it. But they need it and they take it. Yeah, it's the first time. The first time. And maybe they will pay me back. And then the second time, it gets easier. The third time, by the fourth time, when I say no, they're angry. No. What do you mean no? Because you set this pattern for yourself, saying that it's okay for people to do all of these things to you. You're fine with it, right? But let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. You can say yes 1,000,000 times. When you say no, it's still no. You don't have to say yes just because you said yes before. Okay? I'm just letting you know, you do not have to say yes. You're not hurting their feelings by saying no. When they don't pay you back and you ask for your money back, you're not hurting their feelings by asking for your money back. People need to be held accountable for their actions. And if they cannot handle being held accountable for their actions, then that's immaturity. And you really do not want people like that in your life, because they will do all kinds of things to you and they will feel nothing. You have to understand that not everyone is worthy of your kindness. I genuinely believe as a Christian that when you do good things to others, it does come back to you. I've witnessed that in my life, that it does come back to you. However, when you have poured out so much to people who are undeserving, not everyone deserves you. Not everyone deserves that. And you will know who does and doesn't deserve it, because you will feel used. You will feel empty after it's said and done. You have those feelings of intuition for a reason. You know when you should not have said yes to something and you say yes to it. You know. As you get older, you have to stand firm and be assertive. I know that there are some people who don't understand what the word assertive means. We have character traits like being passive, letting anyone do anything to you, not really saying much about it, letting things go, just kind of aimlessly allowing things to happen. That's being passive. And then, of course, when you're aggressive is when you do things that could be considered malicious and mean and harmful to other people. But then there's the word assertive, which is right in the middle of the two. You're not being passive. You're not allowing people to disrespect you. And you're not being aggressive. You're not disrespecting other people. You're basically filtering out the nonsense, and you're respecting yourself enough to not allow people to treat you however they want to treat you. If you are being overly nice, you will see a pattern. You will notice a pattern. You will notice that people are always trying to get you to do things. Can you come out and see me? Can you drive? It's always you doing it. And you wouldn't even think. Sometimes you might want to say, well, can you come out and see me this time? Or can you drive? Or can you pay? Or whatever. But you won't do it. You won't say it. Because you think if you say no, they're going to be upset. But let them. It's okay. Let them be upset. Being upset is a choice. It is a choice. They are choosing to be upset. And that's their issue. It's not your issue. That's their problem at that point. Ultimately, being nice does not mean someone is going to like you. It doesn't. And the people who tend to use you, take advantage of you, those people are really not going to like you just because you're being nice. A lot of times, they actually dislike you because of that. They'll use you, sure, but they won't respect you. And if they do say something rude to you, disrespectful to you, just know that they're measuring niceness on their own scale. on their own standards, which benefit them. So it really has nothing to do with you. Honestly, you do have to build thick skin, or else you're going to suffer in this world. I have a younger sister who is a lot more assertive than I am. A lot more assertive. And I definitely do admire her courage to be able to not allow people to treat her a certain way, to stand up for herself, to say what she truly feels, to just be genuine in that sense. But for her, it's not across the board. In certain areas, she's still extremely passive. And she considers it just being nice and respectful. And she has a daughter. I have a niece. So I told her, listen, you have to learn to stand up for yourself now because you have a daughter. You're going to have to stand up for her. When the doctors tell you, oh, well, I know she's been coughing for 3 weeks, but we're not going to give you any medicine yet. We're going to wait another 2 weeks. And you know that she needs the medicine now, but you think, oh, yeah, well, I'm just not going to say anything. It's okay. They're the doctors. They know. No, you have to fight. You need to say no. We need the medicine now. The same goes for teachers. When she goes to school, the teachers might do something that may not be right, and you have to go in there and you have to stand up for your daughter. And you have to say, this is unacceptable. But that takes practice. That takes a lot of time with you looking within yourself, building up the courage to say, no, I'm not tolerating this. There's nothing wrong with saying no. There's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself. Do not empathize with people who don't deserve it. It's really important, especially when someone is using you, disrespecting you, that you say no. If they're upset, oh well, let them be. You will feel so good the day that you say no and you mean it and you stick to your guns and you're genuine with yourself. I guarantee it. So if you're struggling with this, I really encourage you to look within yourself and ask yourself this question. What am I afraid of? What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of people not liking you? Are you afraid that the person's going to leave you? What are you afraid of? I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment below if you struggle with being too nice, if you feel like you overly give. The fact of the matter is you cannot pour from an empty cup. And you will have nothing to give yourself and nothing to give other people who need you if you're constantly empty. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you in the next video.